Hello, everyone. Welcome again to Home Cooking with Pride. I'm your host, Bryan Rodriguez with Silicon Valley Pride. And today, in honor of Asian Pacific Island Heritage Month and our LGBTQ friends who are Asian Pacific Island heritage, we are going to be cooking Japanese cuisine with one of my really good friends, Tadashi Oguchi. He's going to show us how to make sumono, cucumber salad, and he's also going to show us how to make okonomiyaki with some traditional Japanese toppings and some American substitutes for the okonomiyaki. So I guess without further ado, why don't we bring Tadashi on and let's get started cooking.
Hey, Bryan.
Hey, Tadashi, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. I'm excited to be cooking with you. We've cooked times, just not like virtually. This is a first.
This is the first time we're cooking virtually, but I think it'll be fun.
Absolutely. Cool. Well, why don't we get started? What should we do? I've done some prep, but what do you want to start with?
So today we'll be making 2 Japanese dishes and 1 Japanese-inspired cocktail. So the first thing that we'll be making is a Japanese appetizer called sunomono. Sunomono is a pickled cucumber salad. And then after that, we will make our main dish called okonomiyaki, which is a savory Japanese pancake. And then for cocktail, John Marie's going to be making a matcha highball cocktail. So let's get started with the appetizer first, yeah?
Absolutely. Let's do it.
Cool. So sunomono, the su, S-U, that means vinegar in Japanese. And mono means things. So direct translation, it just means vinegar things. But traditionally in Japan, we use pickled cucumbers for this dish. But it's a super versatile dish. If you don't have cucumbers, feel free to use carrots or daikon radishes if you like. So first, let's go over the ingredients that we need for this dish. So first off, we have some cucumbers. This is Japanese cucumbers. So you want to use a variety of cucumbers that, one, don't have that much seeds in it because that's excess water, and then also that has a thinner skin. So Japanese cucumbers is a good choice. If you don't have that, you could use an English cucumber. If you don't have that, you could also use Persian cucumbers. So today I think we're both using Japanese cucumbers, yeah?
Yep. This is a Japanese cucumber, yep.
Yeah. So we'll be using 2 Japanese cucumbers. If you're using English cucumbers, we'll use 1 English cucumber or 4 Persian cucumbers. And for the dressing, we'll use rice vinegar. Rice vinegar is a little bit more on the sweeter side. It's not as intense flavored like apple cider vinegar or white vinegar. So I really prefer using rice vinegar. If you don't have that, feel free to use red wine vinegar or champagne vinegar. We'll also use a little bit of shoyu or soy sauce, a 1/4 teaspoon of salt, and how much sugar? 1 teaspoon of sugar. And then a little 2 or 3 inch piece of lemon rind. All right. So shall we get started on slicing on the cucumbers first?
Yes, let's do that.
All right. So we did most of it already, but let's get started with the cucumbers. Cut the ends off a little bit, and then just cut them as thinly as you can. And if you're new to cooking and don't feel comfortable cutting a round object like a cucumber, feel free to just make it flat. Cut a little piece off, just like that. And then now it's not rolling away from you. So now it's stable. So you have a lot more of a balance. And then I see a lot of people have like different ways to hold their knife. But for me, the best way to hold the knife, for me at least, is to put the thumb and index finger at the base of the knife and then wrap the rest of your fingers on the handle. That way you have so much more support and just guidance when you're cutting anything you are. So like when it comes to the cucumber, which is like really thin or just easy to cut, is not much of a problem. But if you're cutting like, let's say like a sweet potato or a winter squash, those things you definitely need a lot more support and strength. So I'm cutting them as thinly as I can. And then I'm going to put all the sliced cucumbers into a Ziploc bag. How are you doing, Brian? Oh, you're putting it in the Ziploc bag already. Okay.
I put it in a Ziploc bag, right?
You're faster than me.
I'm a quick study.
So where did you get your Japanese cucumbers? Where's your go-to shop?
Well, I do most of my shopping at the grocery outlet, but you can't count that they'll have Persian cucumbers or English cucumbers.
Right.
So I actually went to Nijiya because I wanted to get some of the traditional toppings for the okonomiyaki. And so I happened to buy the Japanese cucumbers there. But I think it'd be a better price to go to someplace like Trader Joe's or Safeway or What do you think, Tadashi?
Like when it comes to Japanese cucumbers, definitely try out Nijiya, which is in downtown San Jose in Japantown, or Marukai, which is in Cupertino, depending on where you guys live. But Trader Joe's, definitely they will have the English cucumbers and the Persian cucumbers available for you. So you got all the cucumbers in the baggie, and then we add quarter teaspoon of salt in here.
Quarter teaspoon of salt. I have it ready to go.
All right. Okay.
So just throw it in the bag?
Yep.
Is that enough for these 2 big cucumbers?
It is, because we're going to let it sit for a while as well.
Okay.
And then get most of the air out and then close the top. And then you're just going to massage it. You're going to let that salt mix in with all those cucumbers.
Saludos, Alexia.
Get rid of all the excess.
Me perdieron los pepinos. Okay.
What?
Sorry, one of my friends said saludos, Brian, and then my bag burst open. I was like, more friends watching, yay!
So just massage the salt into the cucumber. So the salt is going to extract a lot of the excess water and make the cucumbers even more crispy and concentrate the flavor. So once you got that down, just put it in a bowl.
Yeah.
And then I like to put a little weight on it. So I have, let's say I have this like mason jar that has like some beans in it. So I'm just going to put it on top. You can use like a spaghetti jar if you want to, spaghetti sauce jar, or a couple cans to put on top as weights. And then we're just going to put that on the counter and let it rest for 15 to 25 minutes.
Okay. Now what?
And next, we're going to do the dressing for the sunomono.
Okay.
So like I said earlier, su means vinegar. So the main ingredient for this dressing is going to be vinegar. And today we're going to be using rice vinegar. So go ahead and get yourself a bowl to mix all the ingredients in. So we're going to be adding 2 tablespoons of rice vinegar. So I have this little mason jar that I'm going to put all the ingredients in. Two tablespoons rice vinegar, half a teaspoon of soy sauce, which is really not much, but plenty for this dish. One teaspoon of sugar. And then I like to add a 2-inch strip of lemon rind in it. Just get the yellow part of the lemon. This is where all the nice flavored oils are. You don't want any of that white part because that's very bitter. And then you're going to cut that into thin slices and add it into your mason jar or your bowl. And then you're just going to mix it up. Super simple dressing for the sunomono. And if you have leftovers, feel free to add some sesame oil into it or olive oil. And the next day you can use it as salad dressing.
Nice.
So that's that. So we're going to let that cucumber sit for 15 to 25 minutes. The dressing is done. So we'll get started on our main dish, which is the okonomiyaki.
Okay.
How are you doing? Oh, you're still mixing. I'm sorry. I'm looking at how Brian's doing.
No, that's okay. I'm following along. I forgot to get the
I'm done.
But no, I'm ready. I forgot to get the lemon pill ready. So there we go. So I'm gonna
Okay.
So now what are we gonna do? And the sesame oil. What do I do with the sesame oil? Is that for
sesame oil? We could put that at the end when we serve it.
Okay.
Or if you have any leftover dressing, we could add the sesame oil into that dressing, or add some extra virgin olive oil and make a vinaigrette out of it.
Perfect. Okay. Perfect. Thank you. So now what should I do?
So now we'll get started on our okonomiyaki.
Mm-hmm.
So okonomiyaki in Japanese, okonomi means however you like. And then yaki means to cook. So okonomiyaki is, you usually have like a bar of things to put as your topping. It's a super versatile dish. So like for me today, I'll be using ground chicken as a protein, but you could use calamari, you could use shrimp, you could use bacon. If you want a vegetarian one, you can use extra from tofu or tempeh. And then toppings is also another thing, however you like it. So whatever you have in the pantry is a go when it comes to okonomiyaki. So okonomiyaki, it originated in Osaka, which is where my mom was born and raised. So whenever I go to Osaka, it's okonomiyaki and takoyaki. Those two things are the go-to dishes in Osaka. Mm-hmm. So takoyaki is a savory, like a donut hole with a piece of octopus inside. Super delicious. So if you're going to Japan anytime soon or Osaka, definitely give okonomiyaki and takoyaki a try. It's the most popular street food there. So let's get started with okonomiyaki. Let me get my ingredients lined up here.
Should I finish chopping my cabbage? What should I do?
We'll do that together.
Okay. So what should I do?
So ingredients for okonomiyaki, we have. So do you have all these prepped, Brian? So you have 1 cup of all-purpose flour.
Yeah.
You want half a head of cabbage. I'm using green cabbage. Feel free to use red cabbage if you like. 2 eggs, 2 large eggs.
Yeah.
1 cup of water. And 1 teaspoon of salt.
Okay.
So first we'll start mixing up the batter.
Okay.
So we have all-purpose flour, and I'm going to add 1 teaspoon of salt in there. Go. We just stir it all up.
Do I add the water next?
And then we'll add the water, yeah.
Okay.
Have you ever had okonomiyaki, Brian?
I have had okonomiyaki. We went to Osaka about 5 years ago, and we had okonomiyaki. And I've had takoyaki before too, because a few restaurants here in Japantown actually make takoyaki. So
yeah.
Or you could always sometimes buy it from the Nijiya deli section in the back. Sometimes they have takoyaki.
Yes. They're making an okonomiyaki restaurant. You know where Mitsuwa is on Saratoga and Moore Park?
Yep.
They're making an okonomiyaki restaurant there.
We got to go.
When they're going to open, but
maybe post-pandemic we can go there and have okonomiyaki.
So I'm just going to stir it all up. Just get rid of all the lumps. You just want to get rid of all those dry pieces of flour in there. You don't want to overmix it because if you do, you activate the gluten protein in the flour and it becomes a very thick batter, and that will result in a very chewy, very dense okonomiyaki, which is not what you want. You want something that's a little bit more airy, a little bit more pillowy.
Does that look okay?
I'm done mixing. That looks great.
Okay.
And then we could go ahead and chop the green cabbage. So this is half a head of green cabbage, which usually equates to about 5 cups of cabbage. So what you want to do is cut them into 1/4-inch strips first. Turn them 90 degrees. And then you chop them into smaller pieces without cutting your fingers.
No emergency room trips, please.
No, thank you. And then you could collect it all in the center of your board and then run your knife through it. Hold the tip of your knife and then just run it through. And then bring it back together. And then once more. So then you'll have a rough chop of these cabbages. They kind of look like this. Yeah, right there. How are you doing, Brian?
Pretty good. I think I have my everything chopped up for the cabbage.
That's great. And I think that's the last thing that we're chopping.
Oh, what about the green onions? I have some green onions left. Is that for that's for the topping? Right?
So feel free to just chop it up in a very thin slice, and then we'll use that for the toppings. I'm going to get rid of my knife and cutting board.
Okay, so we're done chopping, right?
Yes, I think so.
Okay.
All right. So you have a bowl of batter, a bowl of chopped up cabbage, and then so we're going to add the cabbage into the batter, the whole thing.
Okay.
And then we'll also add our 2 large eggs into this.
Oh, okay, so we add the eggs on top of the cabbage. Okay.
Yes. And you want to go ahead and stir it all in. Incorporate the batter with the eggs and the cabbage. All right. So everything is evenly coated with the batter and eggs. How are you doing, Brian?
I think, how does that look? I think I don't see any yellow yolk in there, like loose yolk.
Okay.
It gets mixed in there.
Yeah. And if you think it's too dry, go ahead and add some water and some all-purpose flour if you like. And if it's too wet, just go ahead and add more cabbage or a little bit more flour into the mixture.
How loose should it be, Tadashi?
So if you like press down on it, you should still have some batter that kind of like that floats on top of the cabbage. We're gonna press down. How's yours is looking? I can't really see.
You know what? I think
Brian.
That looks good.
Yeah.
Okay, good.
All right, so we're ready to start cooking our okonomiyaki. So I'm gonna get my little hot plate and my nonstick pan and heat it up.
Okay.
So what kind of protein are you using today?
I'm using gosh, what's that called? Pork. I'm using pork today.
Is it like ground pork? Is it bacon?
It's ground pork. I'm using ground pork.
Okay. I'm using ground chicken today. So we're both doing ground meats. But everyone else, like you can feel free to do calamari, shrimp. You could do like extra firm tofu if you like. So I'm heating up my pan. I'm adding a little bit of oil. I'm using some grapeseed oil to coat the bottom. Oops, that was a little too much. And then you're just going to heat up that oil. So a good trick to know whether or not your oil is heated enough is when you tilt it back and forth. If it's hot enough, you'll see some waves. And that's when you know your oil is well heated.
How hot do I want the
Medium high.
Medium high?
Yeah. So I'm going to add half of my ground chicken in there.
So are you adding the ground? Oh, so you know what? I didn't know that. Sorry. I didn't know that. My protein's already cooked.
Oh, that's fine. Go ahead and just put it in the pan and just warm it up again.
Okay.
So I'm gonna let mine cook for a little bit longer than yours, obviously. And then we'll put the batter on top.
Well, I'll wait until yours is ready because mine is hot. I've been letting it simmer.
Okay.
So I think my hot. I think it's getting hot.
That's good. And then this batter, this recipe, it will make 2 big okonomiyakis or 4 smaller ones. So right now I'm going to do half the ground chicken and half the batter. So I'm going to be making 2 big okonomiyakis today. So my ground chicken is cooked. I'm just going to bring it towards the center of the pan. And then I'm going to add half of my batter in here. Okay. And then you really want to maintain a circular shape for the okonomiyaki. So I'm going to spread it a little bit. And then use my spatula to bring it back to the center.
So put half the batter on my...
Half the batter, yep. How's yours looking, Brian?
Can you see?
No, I cannot see. Are we able to see?
See?
Oh, are you doing 2 pans? Oh, wow. Okay, yeah. Looks good. And then once I have half the protein and half the batter cooking, I'm going to put a lid on it, turn down the heat to medium, and let it cook for 3 to 5 minutes. can't hear Bryan. Is Bryan talking? So today we're making Osaka version of okonomiyaki. But there's another very common type of okonomiyaki called Hiroshima type. So today we're doing Osaka, which is everything's all incorporated in it. So we have the batter, we have the cabbage, we have the protein all incorporated in it. But the Hiroshima version is more of a deconstructed okonomiyaki. Mm-hmm. So they'll do a layer of batter, they'll top it with cabbage, they use bean sprouts in theirs, and they also actually add in some noodles on top of it as well, and some fried eggs. Mm-hmm. I grew up with the Osaka style. I've actually never tried the Hiroshima style, but okonomiyaki, I always think about the Osaka, this version.
Actually, you know what? I think when we were in Japan, we went to both cities, but I think we had okonomiyaki in Hiroshima because I remember the noodles and I remember how you.
Yeah. I feel like if you're making Hiroshima style, you need like a big griddle. You can't be doing it at home because you have to move it back and forth.
Yeah.
So, I like the Osaka style a lot more. Do you have any questions from our Facebook viewers?
No, I don't.
Bryan, I'm like a little bit far away from the laptop, so you'll have
Adrian, our friend Adrian, who moved across the state.
Adrian.
She said we should be on the Food Network. He's cooking. Yep. Oh
no, Murray's saying something.
He says, "Do you need to peel the cucumbers, Tadashi?"
If you're using Japanese cucumbers, if you're using English cucumbers or Persian cucumbers, no. But if you're not able to get any of those varieties, and if you're using like American cucumbers or lemon cucumbers, yes, the peels are a lot thicker compared to the Japanese ones.
Should Jean-Marie make his cocktail?
No, I think we should flip it actually. Okay. Because mine is looking pretty brown on the bottom. How's yours?
I think mine is sounding ready.
Okay.
I have to look, but...
Yeah, look underneath a little bit. How comfortable are you flipping this okonomiyaki in the air?
Not at all.
You can always use like 2 spatulas and grab both sides and flip it if you like. I'm going to try to flip it in the air.
Wow.
And I hope the dog doesn't eat the leftovers that fall on the ground. So I'm going to flip it, yeah?
Okay.
Okay. One. There we go. Nice and brown, nice and crispy on the bottom, which is now the top.
Shut.
What do you think, Chef? For? What happened?
Oh my gosh! I think my okonomiyaki was too big.
Oh, it's fine. I love how John Marie's laughing in the background.
Oh, the second one came out. You know what?
Oh, that looks great. Yeah.
Experience, Tadashi. I think the secret is.
There you go.
Don't make it too big.
Look at that golden crust. Crispy on the outside, nice and soft on the inside. So we're going to let this other side cook for 3 to 5 minutes. I'm going to put a lid on it as well. In the meantime, I'm going to pass it on to Jean-Marie, who's going to show us how to make a cocktail, the matcha highball cocktail. I don't hear him, do you?
I'm gonna come in a little bit. JM, we can't hear you.
Can we hear Tadashi? Can you hear me now?
Oh, I can hear you, John Marie.
Cool, great. Do I need to start this over, or you guys heard what I said?
No, I said start over.
Start over. Okay, cool. All right, so just go quickly over the ingredients again. I'm using a Japanese whiskey here. Any whiskey will do. I will be using 1 lemon. Actually, just half an ounce, so probably half a lemon is fine. And you need matcha. You can get this at a Japanese grocery store. We got this at Nubia. All right, so let me start this. First of all, you need to prepare your honey syrup, which I've never heard of before, but it's essentially just honey that you dilute with equal part water. So I need half an ounce of this honey syrup. So essentially a quarter of an ounce of honey and then a quarter of an ounce of water. So I'm putting this right now in my little measuring cup here. So this produces half an ounce of honey syrup. Brian, can I get a small spoon, please? Just in that bowl. Small spoon.
Oh, sure.
Thank you.
What?
Just need to like break
What?
up that honey. You want warm water, so that helps mixing up the honey with the water. So that creates your honey syrup. And then what I do is I think it's a good idea to mix your matcha in this solution at this point because the matcha is a little bit sticky, and I think diluting it in a little bit of liquid is better, and it gets rid of all the clumps. So I will add a little bit more water. So it made a little mess here. And add a quarter of a teaspoon of matcha. So just add that to this. So if you like green tea, this tastes really, really good. So you just mix it up like this. So you've got your little, so see it's like clumping a little bit, but with a spoon you can break it up. All right, and then, so you have half an ounce of the solution now, and then you just top it off. So I had already prepared some lemon juice here. So you just top it off by half an ounce. So you go up to an ounce of liquid here. All right, so now what I will do is I will put this in my shaker. So I pour this mixture into my shaker, and then I add 2 ounces of my Japanese whiskey. Here. And what I want to do at this point, I'll just prepare my highball glass and add some ice. Get it ready to go. And mix it up. Not sure which camera is. There we go. Pour it in. And then you want to top it off with fizzy water. So if you have any kind of soda water or anything like that. So Brian will give me my fizzy water. Oh, there we go. Perfect. There we go. Cool. And give it a quick stir. And there you go. Here's your my matcha highball.
Looks good.
You want to taste it, Brian?
Sure.
Don't drink it all because you you don't like caffeine at night. Cool. I do have another.
Oh,
I have
the mocktail.
I have the mocktail as well. If you want me to make, do I have time for this? Do I have time for this, Saldi?
Tadashi, actually, how are the okonomiyaki looking? Why don't you get started, Jean-Marie? Because we can always pan back to what you made.
All right, cool. So, okay, so this is another drink made with matcha, but this is a mocktail, so no alcohol. So it's a school night. If you don't want to be drinking, let's make this. So I went and I got some spearmint from the garden. So I'm gonna save one leaf for the garnish, and the rest I'll just tear up my leaves and put it in my shaker. And then I'll just use my little stick here and use the leaves. So there we go. All right, so you want to add some ice in this one. Ice. Lime juice. So you want, in this case, you want the juice of a lime, an entire lime. So actually, that's what I will do right now. I need my little filter. Oh, Brian, where's my little filter? My little. So, all right, that's okay. I'll just like do it without. So extracting the juice of one lemon. Okay, put that in my shaker. Then I add 1 teaspoon of my matcha powder. These are heaping teaspoons, so I'll just put 3. This is about 1 teaspoon. And then in this particular case, it's calling for agave water, but agave syrup, but I will just use a simple syrup. So if you can just hand that. So in this case, you would use about 3 tablespoons, which is about 1.5 ounces. So 1.5 ounces of agave syrup, or in my case, I've decided to go with simple syrup. Simple syrup is just 1 part sugar, 1 part water, so pretty simple. All right, so put that in the shaker. A little shake. And then prepare another tall glass with some ice. So I'm putting some ice in this. Put the mixture in. And then I'm just gonna top it off with fizzy water. So there we go. And then you can add a little leaf for garnish, or maybe a lime or something. So let's give this a try. Ooh, I like this one.
Yeah.
I think I like this one better than the real thing.
Oh,
this
wow.
is good, man. This is really good. Cool. Great. Well, that was it. Thank you.
That is tasty. Okay. Well, this is great. Tadashi, are we ready to plate our okonomiyaki? I think mine's ready.
I am ready. How was the cocktail?
You know what? The mocktail was actually a little bit tastier than the one with the real whiskey in it. But
Really?
yeah.
Okay. I haven't tried the cocktail yet, so I have to give that a try tonight. So my okonomiyaki is done. We flipped it and we've let it cook for about 5 minutes.
Yeah.
How's yours looking on the other side?
I think it's this one in the griddle is ready. It's like
Okay. Nice and brown and crispy on the outside.
And it's like stiff. See how stiff that is?
That looks great.
This one, however, oh yeah, that's ready.
However, what happened?
No. It's like this one, because they're so big, I think next time I would try making it a little bit smaller.
Smaller ones? Okay, yeah.
But it's pretty good. I think this bit is not quite cooked here. That little edge there is not quite cooked. But this,
Okay.
like, I mean, when I see how stiff it is when I pick it up, I think that means it's done.
So I'm going to show you guys the traditional toppings for okonomiyaki.
Yeah.
And then I think, Brian, you have like similar ingredients as well, or are you doing like a different version?
I have one that I'm going to put the traditional stuff on, like the bonito flakes and the stuff that you recommended.
Yeah.
And then I have the American stuff.
So for the traditional okonomiyaki, I'm going to be putting the okonomiyaki sauce. So this is a tomato and vegetable-based sauce with a little bit of like hoisin sauce and Worcester sauce. So I'm going to put that on top. And then if you don't have one of these, don't worry about it. My mom would mix half and half Worcester sauce with ketchup, and that was kind of like our alternative to okonomiyaki sauce. So if you have those two ingredients handy, just use those. And then QP mayonnaise. This is Japanese mayonnaise. So different from American mayonnaise, this one uses just the egg yolks, and they also use rice vinegar. So it's a lot creamier and a little bit more tart compared to the American mayonnaise. Every household, I'd say, would have a bottle of QP mayonnaise.
I didn't know what the difference was between the QP and like
American mayonnaise. Yeah. So American mayonnaise, they use the whole egg, including the egg whites. So QP mayonnaise, they only use the egg yolks. So it's creamier and it's richer flavored. And they use rice vinegar or apple cider vinegar in their mayonnaise versus white vinegar, which is commonly used in American mayonnaise. And then another topping I'm going to put on top is green onions, just really thinly sliced green onions right on top. And then for that umami flavor, you're going to use katsuobushi. So katsuobushi is bonito fish that has been dried, smoked, and fermented. And they are shaved into these really thin slices. They're like very, very paper thin. And I'm just going to put it right on top. And if it goes on top of like something hot, it starts moving around. So it starts dancing around on top of this okonomiyaki. Can you see that?
Yum. And
my favorite topping is pickled ginger. So similar to the pickled ginger that you get with sushi, this is same kind, but with a different dye and different cut. I just put that on the side. Adds an extra crunch to it, extra tartness to it. What are you doing for your toppings, Brian?
Well, I did everything you did except for the pickled ginger.
Okay.
I have some fermented cabbage, but there's already cabbage here, so I'm not going to add that.
Like sauerkraut?
Here, however, is the Worcestershire and ketchup sauce on this angle. And then on this side over here, I'm going to put some guacamole for experimenting. And we're in California. We can.
So I say use the okonomiyaki, like the base, as kind of like a vessel for flavor.
Okay.
So you can use it as like naan, or you can use it as like a tortilla, like you are, while adding like guacamole, right? Yeah, I like that.
And I'm adding a little bit of salsa verde on this side here.
Okay.
And then, you know what? Why don't I put a little bit of more sauce over here, like more of the homemade sauce. And then I'll put a little dollop of mayonnaise there, a little dollop of mayonnaise there. I'll put a little dollop of mayonnaise there. And I'll put a little dollop here. I don't have
I like your presentation, Brian. I like your presentation.
You know, what I could have done was put the mayonnaise in a little like
a little squirt bottle,
a little or a little baggie, and then cut off the end, and then use it like a pastry.
Yeah. Like you were frosting a cake, but you're frosting okonomiyaki. Yeah.
Oh, and then you know what? In the middle here, I'll put a little bit of katsuobushi. So this is like the American has a little bit of the Japanese stuff in the middle, but then the American and California Mexican sauce on the
There's
side.
a little bit of a fusion okonomiyaki happening, and I'm down for that.
I think it's very California, right? We all come here, we all live here, and we all share.
It has avocado in it, so it's very California. Yeah.
Cool. Cool. So
this is our okonomiyaki. It looks delicious.
Thank you.
Should we sample it now, or should we do the sunomono?
We should do the sunomono because we have like.
Let's do the sunomono then.
Yes.
So
I'm hungry. I think Jean-Marie wants to taste it. I do. Okay. Why don't we taste it, Tadashi? Let's taste it.
Okay.
Cool. Well, I'm going to go for the California stuff in the middle.
Okay. Roy, the cameraman, do you want to taste? He's actually had okonomiyaki 2 days ago as well. So he's probably sick of this by now. But
that is really good.
It's fucking delicious.
It's fucking delicious.
You just got to get that perfect bite with the green onions, the mayonnaise.
It's the next best thing to being in Japan. Since we can't travel right now, it's awesome.
I know.
Okay. Oh, and you know what? Oh my gosh, that's very good. Okay, listen.
You dig it?
Yeah, we should not be too rude on the camera. I'm so sorry. But, let's make the sunomono. Yeah.
Let's make the sunomono. Let me wash my hands real quick.
Okay. I'll do the same.
So, are you back?
I'm back.
Cool. So go ahead and take the weight off your cucumber. Do you see all that like water that came out from just like mixing? This is just cucumber and salt, and just excess amounts of water that came out. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to cut a little piece of the corner off the bag, and then that's going to allow me to drain the excess water. You know, this is like a hands-free pickling process. You're just going to squeeze that excess water out into the bowl.
I think I got most of it out, but
how are you doing?
I think I got most of it out.
Okay. And then we're able to serve this out then. For about 2 Japanese cucumbers, this is probably about 4 bowls of an appetizer side salad. So I'm just going to prepare 1 bowl for now. And then for toppings, I like to do sesame seeds on top, little sprinkle of sesame seeds.
Would I put my
you could even add like protein to this, like crab, shrimp, calamari if you like.
Would I
steamed
put
chicken.
would I put my dressing on this now?
Not yet. We'll just put that at the end.
Okay.
And then I'm also going to go ahead and add some ginger if you have some. I love fresh ginger. And then some green onions on top. The green onions are leftovers from the okonomiyaki toppings.
Mm-hmm.
And then at the end, we're going to add our dressing. That is made with sugar, soy sauce, rice vinegar, and some lemon zest. Right on top.
Nice. So can I add the sesame oil too?
Yes. If you have sesame oil, you could do a little drizzle, just a little bit. Sesame oil is a very strong oil, so you just want to do a couple drops of it, and that's enough.
Okay.
Especially for such a small bowl of cucumbers.
Right.
And that's that. What does it look like? Beautiful.
Okay.
Should we sample this one too?
Yes, absolutely.
This is our Ina Garten moment.
I know. Except I feel like we're Ina Garten's gay friends cooking. She usually invites her gay friends over to cook with her.
Right.
Oh gosh, that's really good. And you know what? The lemon zest really
Super refreshing.
Yes.
It's a perfect dish for the summertime when it's hot outside. Yum.
Absolutely.
And then does that sesame oil make a big difference in your dish? Do you taste that sesame oil?
You know what? It's just, I think it's just there in the background.
Yeah.
Because I only put like a couple drops, so it's not intense. That is really good.
So today, we made some sunomono appetizer, cucumber salad with pickled cucumbers with ginger and sesame. And main dish was okonomiyaki, savory Japanese pancake. On top of it, we added some green onions, katsuobushi, mayonnaise, and of course, okonomiyaki sauce.
Nice.
And of course, some guacamole on Bryan's.
God bless the avocado. So, is there anyone out there who has questions, maybe, or about what we've done, or what we could do? Some, any questions?
They're asking about the recipe.
Where can I find the recipe?
We posted the ingredients in the event as pictures, right? Yeah.
We have, but I didn't specify like how much of each ingredient. So I'll be sending that to Sully today, and he'll be posting it on Facebook soon.
Okay. Yeah. Make sure to go in the event for today to look up the ingredients and the instructions, I guess. Is there a spicy version? Well, my version has I made homemade guacamole, which has about 3 jalapenos in it. So the jalapenos is kind of spicy. And then I added salsa verde or chile de molcajete verde, and that's spicy. That puts a kick into it. Tadashi, if you wanted it more spicy, could we add maybe some fermented like jalapeno sauce to it?
I'm sure you can. Like all my friends know that I can't handle any kind of spicy food. Like ginger for me is like super spicy. Black pepper or even arugula is very spicy for me. So my sensitivity level is very, very low. If you want to add spicy stuff to this, ginger, is that spicy or no?
Well, not really.
Maybe.
Did you
sriracha?
Is there a spicy version in Japan? Pat wants to know.
No, not really.
So
This is kind of like the traditional way to make it. Yeah, and it's not very spicy.
I think Pat, you need to go California and just add your fermented jalapeno hot sauce and
Yeah, and who knows? Like Brian did, like his spicy like guacamole, right, with jalapenos in there. So maybe you could add a little bit more like Tabasco or like Rooster sauce in there too, if you like.
Mm-hmm. Cool. You know what? I was thinking if I wanted a wine with this Tadashi, what would you suggest?
I would recommend a white wine for this because this is pretty much it's a pretty light dinner. It's not that heavy because it's mostly all cabbage, like cooked cabbage.
Mm-hmm.
So white wine. I'm drinking old fashioned.
Mm-hmm.
And a matcha highball cocktail on the side. Sure.
Okay. Ooh.
Kimchi on top. That sounds kind of good. Like chop it into small pieces and use it as kind of like a side thing, like similar to the ginger.
Jean-Marie, can you get me a white wine bottle? White wine glass? Yeah.
Oh my God. Perfect flip.
I'm jealous. I mean, I had 2 freaking like bat spatulas and mine fall apart. Really good job, Tadashi.
Your okonomiyaki looks really good.
Thank you.
It's delicious.
So good job.
Thank you.
You're a good student. I was a tolerable instructor.
You were excellent. Oh, Akiko. Hi, Akiko. She's Japanese too.
I thought that was my sister for a second because her name is Akiko too. I was like, what is she doing?
I know her. She's my neighbor. She cooks a lot of Japanese food too, and she likes to use sriracha with mayonnaise.
Sriracha mayonnaise or even like wasabi mayonnaise on the side. That sounds like a good compliment too.
I'm having a Viognier with this, and the Viognier tastes pretty good. I think maybe a Riesling might taste a little bit better too, at least because I'm adding spicy, But good. Cool. Anyone else out there make okonomiyaki and add something that we didn't add to it, to their version? A topping or something? One thing that I wanted to do, or at least talk about, is I work at a Japanese American organization, and I have a lot of, friends that have coworkers that have become friends there over the years. And one thing that they introduced to me that is like, I guess, very Hawaiian or Hawaiian Japanese American is butter mochi. And it's like
butter mochi. Yeah.
Mochiko flour. And I think they put butter and eggs and sugar. And there's some recipes out there where it's kind of chewy on the bottom and custardy and crinkly on top. And some of my friends put blueberries or raspberries to it before they bake it. It's so good. Yeah. Oh my gosh.
Ooh. Have you been to Shueido, which is in Japantown in downtown San Jose?
I have.
Super old school, like mochi shop.
Yeah. What's your favorite?
I love that place.
Me too. I like their the monaka. That's my favorite, monaka.
Oh, I love monakas too. So monaka is like a crispy wafer on the outside with anko, which is a sweetened red bean paste inside. That's my favorite. Yeah. My grandpa in Osaka, he loved monaka. So like whenever I would visit him in Osaka, he would have that all the time on his table and be like, Tadashi, you have to eat this. And yeah, that was my favorite go-to Japanese dessert. Yeah.
So someone asked what white wine I'm drinking. I'm drinking a Viognier from Monterey County, and it goes pretty well with this. It's a Viognier, Grace, Sonia. It's a Viognier. And I think you could also use a Riesling if you wanted a little bit sweeter. That would go good with what I've added here. And then Donis mentioned the peanut butter mochi from Shueido. And yeah, peanut butter mochi.
I've actually never had that one before.
It's really good. It's really good.
To me, it's a little bit like, too out there, like too non-traditional for me, but I should give it a try.
And So that's interesting. Yeah, that's interesting.
Like for me, it has to have like red bean paste or white bean paste. Peanut butter for me is kind of like, what is this again? But I will definitely give it a try.
That's funny. Yeah, I like the peanut butter mochi there. I'm not sure if they.
So what is it? It's like a mochi that has peanut butter inside. Just peanut butter, or
I think it's peanut butter, but I think it's peanut butter mixed with the white bean paste, the sweetened.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
It doesn't taste like straight up peanut butter, but I don't know because I haven't asked them if it's just straight up peanut butter inside. But it doesn't taste like straight up peanut butter inside. And then I think they dust it in hinako or peanut roasted peanut flour. But I think they might dust it in hinako too.
Nice.
Mm-hmm.
You are digging into that okonomiyaki.
It's so good.
And it's easy, right?
Yeah.
And if you don't have, like, if you have other vegetables in your pantry, like carrots, or even like red bell peppers and stuff like that, feel free to like chop that in here too. It doesn't have to be just green cabbage. Well, traditionally it is just green cabbage, but feel free to like add other vegetables too.
Okay, cool. So, like, if I was going to double this because I have another half a cabbage left, but I don't have another whole cabbage.
Yeah.
Add in some carrots, add in some bell peppers, whatever. It's kind of like a vegetable inside of a batter, mixed with some protein.
Yeah. So okonomiyaki, like I said earlier, it means however you like it, right? So if you have extra stuff, just add it into the batter and you're good.
Gosh.
I mean, the traditionalists in Japan would hate that, but
we're in California. We'll put our spin on it. I think
Yeah.
Well, it is 8:03. I know we had a really good time cooking together.
Yes.
So at the end of May, we're gonna cook with some different community members.
Nice.
And so we'll announce later this week or next week who we're going to be cooking with and what we're going to be cooking with. But the theme, since it's Asian Pacific Island Heritage Month, we're going to be cooking with Asian Pacific Island LGBTQ community members. And they'll be showing me again how to make something that's Asian. So I'm excited for that. And
sounds fun to me.
Huh?
Sounds fun.
Yeah, and you know what? You were such a good instructor. You have such a professional setup. I know your housemate Roy and good friend Roy is like the photographer extraordinaire. So I'm actually a little bit jealous.
What are you talking about? I did this all myself.
Right. So it was really fun cooking with you. And I think maybe
likewise, Brian.
Do you want to just say goodbye to everyone and give everyone virtual hugs since we can't hug in real life?
Yes, thank you so much for hanging out with us for the last hour. I hope you guys learned a couple of new things and give this recipe a try. So have a great night, guys.
Bye. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.
Too late.